and pull it out. Now those kind of cameras take a little bit more bandwidth. That's why we don't have a lot of them. But all in all, I think from the starting point, it is a little bit more than we'll probably need, so we will have a little headroom. The only one that would concern me the most would be this area, because we have 3 different operations going on here at one given time. Don't really know what's going to happen. That's going to be a shot in the dark. Nobody really has an answer for that, but we'll cover that and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. It is not an issue, though. I mean, it's not going to be something that, you know, you're not going to see me around because you gave me something, like a curveball I couldn't hit.
I'd like to ask Charlotte, because Charlotte did this. She installed security and all that. So I'd really like her opinion on what she thinks about all this.
Looking through using Ubiquity and Unify, that's where you want to be. This is the new technology. This is the best technology in my opinion.
It is, and not to interrupt, but I'm using them exclusively and doing a lot of in-field work for them to enhance their ability to market. So by doing that, I kind of threw it out there that if I do a bulk buy, you guys, and if you, Charlotte, would look, you would see that the pricing is incredible. And it's because I said, well, I'm doing a municipality here, and I would really like to, you know, resume them as well as myself. To do this, and they said, well, if this is all the equipment you're going to install for this, you know, city, it's all married to each other, so you could take this camera and plug it in over there, or you could take this camera and plug it in over there, you could move it around, whatever you wanted to do with it. But because of what we're doing, they said, well, if you're going to buy all this equipment, we'll give you this kind of a break. People in this community don't get third color pricing very often. This is offering me the opportunity to buy into the equipment scenario at a very top shelf. These cameras are equal to what the DOT uses on their stoplights and all that stuff. They are extremely rugged. They're totally weatherproof. For all in all, if you do the investigation, you'll see that this is a really good deal for the city of Florence, and you guys will be the only ones around that has it.
I would have to agree with that. I started looking into my wholesale account after I saw this bid in my packet, and I couldn't compete with this by any means. I mean, the volume that it's putting
that's
into
what
this.
would be my next question.
Yes, this is
comparable price
I think this is an awesome price point for a great system that you're going to be very happy with.
I have another question for the police chief now. Where are we going to get the money to pay for this? Has it been allocated?
No, it has not been allocated. Mr. Patterson and I have been discussing that with the building fund.
We could afford the city hall piece because we've got the money that has been designated for upkeep of this building. So we could the 12,000 for this building we could do. The water department
pay their part.
Could pay their part, and those are really the two that we can do. The other ones we cannot afford. We can't do. The other ones it'd be great to do, and maybe we could budget them to be put in come January 1st or sometime next year. But in this year's budget, I have to recommend that we only do those two. I would love to have it at the city shop because I think it protects our fuel and our equipment. I would love to have it at the skateboard park, and particularly at Pioneer. I'd love to have it downtown. But those 4 locations, I think we really, in good conscience, have to wait until the 2016 budget to see if we can afford it.
You said water treatment administration?
Water treatment administration.
And those two cost how much? Those two cost how much?
Well, the administration is $12,000. The water treatment is $7,690.
Now then.
And we have to do something administration-wise because we used to have dispatchers here who kind of served as our security. They're not here anymore.
Well, now, Charlotte.
I have a couple questions. So if we broke this into stages, would this still be the price point since you're not ordering all the
I've got to be honest with you. The way I was able to give you such good pricing is because I'm buying all that equipment in one fell swoop.
And that's what I was...
Now, I did break down
Then we can't do it.
for council what it would be to, right here, what it would be if we just bought all the equipment, because it's going to save you almost 20%. If you do that. Now, I don't have a problem. Any way that council wants to do it, that is fine. I broke it down. I don't have a problem, putting one in whenever, and would even store the equipment here. It just allows you to, if in the future you're planning to do this stuff, the price that would happen if you broke it down in an individual scenario would increase exponentially. As far as putting them in, I broke it down what the labor rate would be on those as we did them, and that is not a problem. And I would be more than happy to work in any way, shape, or form that we can. The equipment buy is a crucial in pricing, and the only reason I could give that kind of super pricing was because of the equipment buy involved.
So can we get a bid on just the equipment purchase then?
It is right there.
We have a 20,000 would buy all the equipment to complete the entire plan, the entire proposal.
I mean, Mr. Patterson, what if
The dilemma is
you,
we don't have the money to fund this. We
What
do
if-
not have the money to fund this. It is a non-fundable item on the budget. And, maybe for next year we can fund it, and we could do the water part, and we could even do the part here for City Hall. But I was under the impression until just now that we could take whichever one we wanted, and we wouldn't have to do the rest of
We
it.
can, but we won't get the price.
I understand that, but we can't, but it sounds like the pricing is even dependent, even for the ones that we want, is dependent on if we buy all the equipment. And we don't have the money to do that.
Paul?
I have a question. Would there be any problem in the future if we do take the recommendation of our city manager? Would there be any problem in, as we go along, if we budget next year, in connecting all your equipment so it would be functional?
If we did it piecemeal as it goes, no, absolutely not. There would be no problem to that at all. It's as we go, and and what I'll do is, if I can, I really want to do this just because for a lot of reasons, and the fact that you move the communications center. I do not live in Canyon City. I live between Canyon City and Florence, and I do that for a reason. I've done business in Florence for a lot of years, and what I would really like to do is, if you guys would like to do those two facilities, on the original proposal that I gave here, we had pricing of the administration building. I quoted that I would do that for $12,000, and then the water treatment facilities for $76.90. What I would do in this I would honor those two and do them at that price, and then we can just cross every bridge as we come to it. I think it's something the city needs, and I'll take that hit.
Well, would the water department have their share?
Yeah,
They would have it.
They could handle that.
They could handle that share.
we just have to handle the other,
But with the other ones, we don't have that budget to do the other.
the 12,000.
We only have this building because we have that money that's been earmarked for this building.
He just said he'd honored this.
Right, I heard that
Yeah,
part, but I was asking
No,
specifics about it.
but we could do those two then, you say, because we do have the money for,
This, right?
Yeah, we could do those too. But
could do those
the
too.
rest of them,
And that's what
as
he's
much
saying.
as we want to do all those,
What
I
we
just don't know
would
where we would pay.
well then, and then we try to work the other remaining in next year's budget.
Charlotte?
I have one more question.
Yes.
You also do wireless and VoIP phones with Ubiquity.
Yes.
Maybe that's an option for next year if there's a grant available for tech services, doing the phone line in conjunction with the wireless and the camera system, because it all goes into one buildable platform.
It does, and if and when that time comes, there's also other manufacturers that are either offering more that do very well, Vidavi, people like that. I'm also a Vidavi dealer. So when it comes down to doing internet protocol, that is the way of the future. That is what's happening now. So what I've done with my focus is to gather all the manufacturers that do work well together. And so when it comes to that, I take those considerations into features, benefits, needs, and wants, and go with that. So yes, it would marry into any internet protocol scenario.
Mr. Patterson, just talking to Wade, I remember when USDA was here, they have a technical grant. Wade and I can research what would be...
Can't promise anything.
Yeah, we can't promise anything, but we can research for next year what the technical grants would cover and if it would cover anything too.
Well, would we be bug up here. Would we be better off to, like the previous one, table this, get a little more information, see if we can get this grant by the next one? Because if we can get a grant,
Well, that wouldn't be till probably,
Even just to have
But you want to get this one done, right? You said.
If they just do the two buildings, you probably should table it for a couple of reasons. If you're just going to fund the two buildings, you probably want to work it out with staff and then bring an agreement for them to sign.
well, I was under the impression coming in tonight that we would have the option to take any one of the bids.
And you do, and I will honor that for sure.
So, I mean, we could do that tonight. I don't know if, does that knock us out for grants if council has already said yes officially?
Not for the other facilities.
No, but if we're gonna get another grant, it'd be nice to get the 19,000.
If there's nothing pressing, just wait 2 weeks and we'll know my answer.
I mean, I know Mike's concern is he wants security in this building as soon as possible. So that's the pressing part from Mike's perspective. But does it, from a grant perspective, if we've said, yes, we're gonna do this, does that hurt us for going for grants? It's not like OEDIT, where OEDIT says you have to...
Yeah, and if we can wait for 2 weeks, within 2 days, we can find out from Durham. I know there's grants bringing technology to rural communities. I don't know if it's as small scope as specific as this project.
So what you're saying is conceivably, we could conceivably do it all potentially.
Yeah, if we're gonna,
I would ask Mr. Westbrook, could you wait 2 weeks? Can we, is that a problem?
No. That was the other thing. I've pretty much been obligated by my suppliers that they will honor this. They know the process that we're going through to get this to happen. It's not pressing that that it's going to change anything. Granted, I would like to have them all. I would like to do it all and just block out my time to finish Florence. And if there's a possibility of that happening by tabling it, by all means, I have no problem either way.
That's what I've been. All right.
If we can have that rate, and I would work on that right away.
Okay. Charlotte?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we table the RFP for the video systems for 2 weeks.
Second.
First and second roll call.
I'm sorry. Till when?
Until the next meeting in October, the first meeting in October.
I'll still second it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your time, council.
Thank you.
Councilor Henniger?
Aye.
Councilman Villagrana?
Yes.
Councilman Upton?
Aye.
Councilman Martinez?
Aye.
Councilman Baker?
Aye.
Mayor Orr?
Aye. Okay. Moving on. City of Florence office space lease agreement with Nancy.
Okay, this one might actually be less complicated.
I would hope so.
This one is relatively simple. Nancy Fenyvis, I'm not sure if I'm saying her name quite right. I got Nancy right, the rest of it I'm not sure. She's with Absolute Accounting out of Canyon City. She would like to rent some space from us here in City Hall. Brian has come up with a draft that we took and tailored this to terms that we had discussed with council back on September 8th as to what council wanted to see us get out of this. And she is offering $250 a month, which is, we found that the going rate is roughly $1 per square foot per month. She's getting 203 square feet, I think, either 203 or 206, I can't remember exactly. And she's offering $250 a month, so we're a little bit above market rate, as it were. I mean, pretty much right on market. The main admonition from our city attorney was that we don't go under market rate, so we are not cutting her any kind of special deal. We would not do janitorial. She'll have, we had a discussion about us doing janitorial. She'll do her own janitorial. Utilities are included because really we can't split. It would cost us more money to split up the electricity and all that than it would ever be. We'd never get that back to get a separate meter in there. So utilities are included and all that. And there's no, we don't pay property tax. So in that regard, we're actually, we have a pretty good situation in that regard. So we are recommending to council that you approve this lease.
I think the only other thing we need is a floor plan, Mike, as to what she's going to exactly do.
Yeah, we were going to have that floor plan included, and I apologize for that.
Okay.
But we would ask that you approve this, and then we'll, subject to the attachment of the floor plan, and we're going to give her, it's the, as you walk across into the part that the county rehab
Lab.
remodel thing. It's the first 2 doors to the right. It's 2 doors into one facility. For some reason, there's 2 doors. I have no idea why, but there's 2 doors.
And unless we do any finishing,
Paul?
I make a motion that,
hold on.
Hold on, question
Game's
here.
going fast, okay.
Probably didn't hear the tape go off down there at that end.
We got a question
we
here.
need to fix the sound system.
Big light. Now, Paul.
Well, I think
Hold on,
there's
we got a question here.
Larry?
Well, what, do we have to do any finishing on this?
No, it's as is.
Yeah, as is.
We don't touch
Okay.
it.
We just maintenance on it, it's
She's gonna have to do her own janitorial.
no maintenance.
Maintenance.
Well, if there's any damage to it, she's gonna have to take care of that herself.
Okay, because it doesn't say anything about maintenance, like if the lights go bad in it, or the overheads or anything, who's gonna maintenance this?
Well, it says the lessee shall be liable for payment of all personal property taxes and payment of all repairs and alterations of the property and payment for all utility services. So you want me to
For all
put in there
utility.
and also all maintenance? I
Well,
can
I'm
add
just
that.
saying if stuff goes out or, she does damage to it, then she has to do all the repairs, right?
Yeah, we did change the part about that the city shall provide electrical, water, and sewer utilities on the premises. If she wants anything else, she has to add those.
Yeah, as long
So
as
if she wants cable
clear on
or,
if something else goes bad, like the lighting and that, well, I guess that would be our responsibility.
She has to pay for all repairs.
she has to pay for the repairs. We just pay for the electricity to light her light bulbs.
So repairs means if the light bulb goes out, she has to put a light bulb in,
Or the ballast goes out.
or
Yeah.
ballast, or whatever.
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
just clarify.
As long as it's clear to everybody.
I have one more question.
Okay.
On terms on the lease, I didn't see how long the lease is, other than it says month to month. So is this like 30-day lease every
Month
month?
to month, we could get her out at any point if council
Okay.
She
decided.
could get out.
Or she could get
Well,
out.
she could get out.
Paul?
Go ahead and make the motion now.
Yes, you can.
I make a motion that the city of Torrance offers a lease agreement for $250 per month to Nancy, and forgive me, I can't pronounce her last name.
Second?
Okay, and you'll add the floor plan, Mike?
Yeah, with the floor plan added. Wade, can you help me get that tomorrow?
With the floor plan,
Okay,
as amended.
okay, we have a first and second, roll call please.
Councilman Villagrana.
Yes.
Councilman Baker.
Aye.
Councilor Henniger.
Aye.
Councilman Upton.
Aye.
Councilman Martinez.
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. And she's gonna move in pretty soon, it says
October 1.
October 1.
October 1, yep, she'd like to be in
So,
October.
actually,
Yeah, we'll start getting, between that and the CLS rent, we'll
get a little bit of rent, at
get
least.
money back.
Yeah, all these outrageous utilities. Okay, next we need to set public hearing for special events liquor license for Florence Cup Pioneer in the Pioneer Park, October 17th, 2015. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I better explain that part of it.
Yeah, explain what this is.
We started a discussion about doing some more recreation activities in the community, but there's no money for the recreation activities. So we thought we would start off our recreation activities with a fundraiser event. And this is something a group of city staff and Councilor Henniger, we got together and we were discussing this, and it's kind of just a fun event. We'll raise a little bit of revenue, but begin the kickoff of our recreation programs, as it were. And we know, as we discussed earlier with the cameras, we don't have a lot of money. So we got to try to generate some dollars from other places, and this is part of the concept of that it would be the city who's putting the event on. Chamber would be assisting us and other entities, but we'd be putting the event on, and so this is a liquor license that goes with it. Previous discussion, I know this is just setting the hearing date, and I don't need to give all kinds of details here, but previous discussions with council members have been basically the people don't like the small enclosed liquor areas, places for beer and wine or whatever to be served. So instead, this would be cordoning off the entire fence, or the entire park, like they used to do when Cindy Cox had the barbecue event. So it would be much more like that, and that's the plan. So we're just asking you to set the hearing date for October 3rd. Right?
October 17th.
Well, no, it's the 17th is when the event will be.
At the hearing.
The hearing will be October 3rd.
Okay, so you need a motion to set the public hearing for the special event liquor license for the Florence Cup Pioneer Park event on October 3rd.
Would be October 5th.
5th?
Yes.
On October 5th.
Oh, you're going to be here on a Saturday.
Well,
That's all right.
Okay.
Second?
First and second, roll call.
Or did you already second?
No,
Go ahead.
you did it, not me.
Councilman Upton,
yes.
Councilman Villagrana,
Yes.
Councilor Henniger,
Aye.
Councilman Martinez,
Aye.
Councilman Baker,
Aye.
Mayor Orr.
Aye. So are these going to be regularly scheduled or something?
You did.
Is this just?
Well, we're starting off with this fundraiser, and then we'll kind of go from there on different events and different activities that we're going to offer. There'll clearly have to be more fundraisers than just this. Some of the events some of the sporting or recreation activities should theoretically be paying for themselves. So we're going to be working on trying to set that up. But when you get to the next item, you see sort of, we got together to talk about one thing and it moved on to recreation in general. So with the next item on before you, you see the city parks current condition review. We went through that review, and this is what brought us, when we get to Wilcox Park, it's kind of what brought us to the realization that we really need to be trying to do potentially a little bit more than we're doing. So if you start at the beginning, start at Pioneer, we'll start with more of the positives. Pioneer Park, you see on the first page the exercise equipment that the Elks Club purchased for us, the blue and purple stuff on the bottom. Elks Club purchased that for us. Sam's Crew installed it. It's been a big success for us. People seem to really enjoy that. The new Pioneer Park sign that you see up above, that looks fantastic. That was provided for us by the farmers market people. And you see the rest of Pioneer Park. You know, it was looking great this weekend, the art, etc. Pioneer Park is a pretty nice looking park. Quartz Park has some good amenities. You see around the swing set, the fall protection material kind of gets kicked all around. Crew tries to work on that to keep it going, but if you look at the grass compared to a couple of years ago when that was brought to our attention that the grass had been dying, they've really done a nice job up there, and that park serves as a decent community park. Yes, Mr.
You know, in the future, we might want to consider doing away with that aspect of that road that's plotted there. And so, you know, even make that back end of that park even add more.
Yeah, we may be able to do some more back there, put some more parking back there or something like that, or other amenities.
Because there is no road there.
No, there is. Skateboard park is one that is not as positive. I mean, what's there functions well, but unfortunately, years ago when the city decided to do this, they decided to do a wooden skateboard park, and basically all the wooden pieces wear out, and so all we have left is a few metal pieces. This is one of the areas that we want to target for upgrade. but it's very expensive, and again, going back to the monetary piece of it, we just don't have the money. Unfortunately, somewhere on the internet, somebody's called our skateboard park the worst skateboard park in America. We hope to change that, but yeah. I'm gonna skip Wilcox for a second, come back to it. Lions Park, again, great trees, pretty nice area. Sam wanted to point out that one of the challenges at Lions is we have a little bit more weed overgrowth there in the toy structure area, just because we don't quite get enough usage of it. So his crew struggles to keep those weeds out of there. You can see where it should just be fall protection material on page 2, the upper one. There's a little bit of weeds that have gone in there, and they work hard to keep those knocked out, but that is one of the struggles there. But overall, it's a pretty good park, and we're proud of it. Sam's crew is doing a tremendous job, and I wanted to pass on to council. We had a lady who would not identify herself, but she called up last week and she said she has been a resident of Florence for more than 60 years, but she wouldn't give any more details than that. And she said that she felt like last week, in preparation for Pioneer Days, that the city had never looked as good as it had in terms of parks and streets and that kind of stuff. So big compliment to Sam's crew, doing a fantastic job out there cleaning up and doing some great things. Now this brings us to Wilcox Park. And if you look at Wilcox Park, you see graffiti. Our Rotary Club has gone out and painted over all the graffiti except for that's on the block. And you see the weeds that have grown up. The condition of the grass is really pretty atrocious. The block. Our Rotary Club also offered to fix this block, and we were never contacted back. So basically, this is kind of where we started on the recreation discussion, that we've got this fantastic amenity out there, these 2 fields and whatnot, but they're not being very well maintained. And unfortunately, the folks who are trying to maintain it are wonderful people. The Cal Ripken League, but it's a real challenge for them to maintain this. And Sam, correct me if I'm wrong, but we really feel like we could take this, make it more available to the community, to a lot more groups, still to the group that's been using it, still make it available to them. We don't want to run them out or anything like that. But the grass is reaching the point, everything is reaching the point where it's getting harder and harder to salvage, and we're feeling like it really is time for us to step back and take the maintenance over. I know Paul wants it, but Sam, do you mind if Sam, do you want to add anything real fast about this?
No, I would like us to take it back over. We can get those parks in really great shape and get the rec district up and moving again. Probably we can probably bring softball teams in here and sort of that type things. You got Lions Park, great space for soccer. Maybe some 3-on-3 basketball hoops down here at the skate park. Anything to bring people in here and stuff. So it'd be a challenge at first for Wilcox, sure, but we can conquer that.
Worst I've ever seen the grass.
Had a gentleman who requested that talk to the people that are currently in charge, and all they want to do was 2 days practice on our field, and they were told no. And that team took state. So, we got a state team from Florence, but yet they had no place to park. They made arrangements to go to Rouse Park to practice. And that's a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a situation here where I really feel like we have to, again, we're not trying to we're not trying to make this so that the Cal Ripken League can't use it, but we've really got to get it back to a higher level of maintenance and availability to the community. Soccer could be using it in the fall, or there's a lot of different ways that this could be utilized. And as it sits right now, it gets used in the summer, and that's it. Staff's feeling is that we really need to sit with Mr. Frederickson and look at bringing back to council a termination of the lease agreement as it is now.
Definitely.
Again, I want to make it clear to Bob in particular that we are not trying to run out the Little League. We want them to still use it, but we want to expand the uses and make it available.
Yeah, it's all in your scheduling. How you going to put it?
This is the worst I've seen.
The biggest problem on the Northfield is the drainage. That hasn't been beat yet, has it? It's still bad.
Yes, but we can get it to
That's
move.
the part that you're gonna have to.
And there's a lot of rodent problems out there too.
Yes, prairie dogs is giving us some issues down there. Yes.
Let me loose down to very soon. I know we won't have it.
You have to talk to the chief about that one.
Yeah, we have to, when we do the drainage down there, we have to watch out for the wetlands too. There's some issues going on down there.
So, would you be able to, will this grass come back, do you think, or is it too?
I imagine with some 10 to 11 care, sure.
Because it looks the worst I've ever seen it.
The upkeep, yes. I mean, we need to probably get in there and dethatch that because it hadn't been bagged for a long time. So I imagine there's a lot of dead grass down there.
Yeah.
The water can't get down to the roots of the grass now. Things of this nature. See what the infields look like. See what kind of materials are needed in there, what's needed on the parking lots.
Yeah.
Things that they could definitely fix those dugouts.
Well, wasn't it in the agreement that they were supposed to keep every bit of this up real good? Or do we need to define it? How far they need to keep it up or what?
We really, in the last couple of years, we've been very flexible with them and tried to give them more and more opportunities. And again, I'm not trying to speak ill of them. It's just that clearly the capacity, it's a real struggle for them. And Sam, we believe, yes, it will create some extra dollars that need to be generated, but that's part of what we're looking at through this recreation division. And yes, there'll be some fees associated with using the fields. People expect to pay those fees, but we do believe that we're going to be able to maintain the fields in a cost-effective manner and in a way that makes it available to more folks throughout the community. I know there's been a lot of discussion amongst our staff. There's a great deal of excitement amongst our public works folks that this could mean a return of softball to Florence, which is something that a lot of folks haven't had. That's been gone for a few years, and they've had to go over and play in Canyon City. And a lot of these folks will probably still play in Canyon City and still play here, but we're trying to bring a lot of that back.
Well, as long as it means that this is going to look a lot better in the future, that's what
definitely.
Yes.
I mean,
it'll be maintained. When you go back and look at the other parks, that's the kind of maintenance that you're going to see there. You're going to see the facilities taken care of. You're going to see green grass.
Yeah.
We can put the warning tracks back in.
Everything.
Yeah. Everything in that nature.
And there were a lot. If you go out and look at it, there's a lot worse than that. And again, going back to the camera, we probably would want to get at least 1 or 2 cameras out on this as well when the time comes. Because if we're gonna rehab this, we want to also protect that investment in time. So this would be another one.
Something wheelies.
Okay, so what are you
just wanted to inform you of this and make sure that council is amenable to a discussion where the staff gets with the city attorney and let's terminate that lease.
Okay.
All right, that was it on that item.
Do you want to move on to this one? You said you wanted to say Pine Park or one of them?
No, I saved Wilcox. That's what we were.
So you done?
I'm done.
Sure. Okay. Next, we'll move on to the mayor's report. I just wanted to report that Pioneer Day turned out really great, I thought, and I know a lot of people there was quite the attendance. I mean, it was really a lot. I was surprised. And Junkie had quite a few. It was lower than last year, but it still looked like there was quite a few people down there. The steampunk, we went up there. That looked like it was taken off. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot, but it looked pretty good, what there was there. And the Louis filled up pretty good. I have to ask our city manager how well it went, but
A lot of the Denver Bronco alumni were in town, and we went out to that. Worked out really well.
good. And all around, I think it turned out to be really good. And merchants, I think it turned out for all the merchants even pretty good downtown.
Just give a report, Rich Burleson and Virginia Rankin did a heck of a job with the parade. That parade went as smooth could be. And especially one event that I can't let it pass because it was so good. And that was the marching bands with Canyon City and Florence combining and marching.
It was good.
I think it's
Brought them together.
it really is sort of coming back and maybe becoming a whole community rather than Canyon and us. Maybe we can work it so, we can do other things together. And thanks to Mr. David Wood for coming and bring this to a happening. And the other gentleman, by the way, that coaches or is a band director in Canyon is a Florence resident. His name was Josh Race. So we got two good things going there.
And then I had to point out that it was the first time was the coal cart races, which was pretty good. And I won't mention who won first place, but it was a pretty good race. And who the pushers were or anything on the car, but it was a good race.
I'd like to know who won. Yeah, me too.
It was the ore cart for mayor that won the coal cart race.
Can I point out one thing on that?
Yeah.
The team that actually pushed the coal car to the victory was actually going to be in a different car, but we thought the police department was not going to be there, so we didn't have. So basically, it was not my plan as city manager to go push the cart that won and says ore cart for mayor. So I just want to say.
Oh, you wanted to be on the team.
I think the world of both the mayor and his opponent, and I was not trying to get in the middle of that, but we won.
You ended up on that one.
Yeah.
Just 'cause the police was right in there.
It was a but we had the lightest passenger. So.
Yeah, that was it.
I understand that you waited before you even allowed.
It was.
Well, I'm going to be quiet now.
Okay, let's move on to committee reports.
Councilwoman Henniger and I attended the LaForge Folsom Advisory Committee meeting. And for whatever reason, I imagine the Bronco football game and then CML, there were not very many people there. So consequently, Ms. Henniger and I pretty well got a chance to ask them to do some things. And Mrs. Henniger was a good speaker for that, so I'm just going to let her take over for that, what she was requesting.
The new plant manager was talking about how he wants to partner with the community and be a good neighbor. So we brought up the plans for the Riverwalk expansion and then also the River Park and possibly a trail going to the wetlands. And they want to partner with us to be able to make that happen. So I believe at the next meeting we're going to talk further about both of those scenarios, but they want to be involved with anything that has to do with recreation, community building.
Good deal. Yeah, they said they'd rather contribute more than money and do a lot more work now. Yeah, which is great.
And Mayor, just give them credit because they showed us some of the projects that they have done around the community, like at the school and different projects, Howard and some of those other places. And it's been outstanding.
Done a lot,
it really has been outstanding.
That's
so
for
hopefully
sure.
we can get them on board and make our
They're a good partner. Dick, you had one.
I got two.
Okay.
One is Tour de Coal Town tour. Was successful again this year, second year for it. We had 60 plus entries. We had some runners this year, more than we had last year. We had 2 last year. And so maybe we'll pick up more next year. We had some pretty good participants in that coal car race that ran that block uphill, so maybe we can get some more runners to do the, like Sam, whoever else was involved in that. But anyway, very successful. People were really happy to have a nice leisurely tour like that, go to the different towns, find out what the towns, where the towns are for one thing, and to get the history of the towns. So this year we had all the packets from the towns with the history of the 4 towns, put them in the packet at registration so they're not trying to pick things up on the way. Very good. We had an FCTC grant for advertising outside of Fremont County, and this year we got people from Trinidad and Salida, and of course we also got some from Springs and Denver, but Salida and Trinidad were new this year, and the people from Trinidad said, boy, they enjoyed it so much they'll be back next year with more people. So I think getting the word out helps on all of these activities that we have around here. So if we can get outside advertising, it helps to bring people in. Second thing was, last Monday I had a Gold Belt Tour meeting over in Canyon. We've been off for the summer, and this was the first meeting, so there was quite a bit accomplished. Now Florence is the beginning of the Gold Belt, and it goes from here up Phantom Canyon to Victor, Cripple Creek, Florescent, down to Canyon, and then back to Florence. And follows the old railroad route up Phantom Canyon. And the word is that it's officially closed, but passable if you've got a 4-wheel drive, so you can go up that way. Now, some of the things that the Gold Belt does for us is, one, is grant money down in this area. Florence has had some grants over the years. The information center down in the bank parking lot was all funded by Gold Belt, and there is one more sign that should be delivered any time now on the history of agriculture and ranching in this area that'll go in that empty slot. Larry and I put that up, how long ago? Months ago.
It was months ago.
So that's how long it takes to get some of this stuff into production. And the historic building signs going around, the little 9x12s that are going on buildings, most of them are up by now. And those are all funded by Gold Belt with a small match for the owners. A lot of the activity does go up on north on land preservation. But down here, Canyon City has gotten money for their hanging baskets and flowers. I think some signs. Currently, the merchants are working on signs, the Find It in Florence logo. I think they're going to be getting prices from the prison on those. But Gold Belt, a continuation of the sign grant, I'm working with them where most of the signage will be funded by Gold Belt. So they do put money into this community, so it's an important group to be a member of, and Florence is a member of the Gold Belt program. Website, we have a new webmaster. It's being revised and updated. goldbeltbyway.org is a website. There's an app program as you drive along, give you information about the different sites. I think that's being updated again also. New flyers are being printed, so a lot going on with Gold Belt. So, worthwhile organization. I'm done.
Larry?
Just one item, very briefly. I did sit in on the Historic Preservation Commission. They had their meeting last week, and it was basically an organization. The elected officers, et cetera, so they are coming up to speed. It's just going to take a little bit of time, but it's coming along.
Great. Charlotte?
Not necessarily a committee report, but I would like to ask that for the next meeting during the workshop that we can take a peek at the food truck ordinance or ordinance around food trucks. We now have 2 locals that are operating food trucks, and they would like to operate here in Florence.
Oh. Okay. Into what, the licensing and
into the licensing
like
and.
Okay. Any other committee reports? Okay. Let's go to the city attorney's report.
I have no specific report tonight, but I do want to ask Mike, I'm trying to keep track of this Salem Road extension. Do we have any more
We
news
finally
on
got
that?
word from, just today, we finally got an email from Heiner Sennengraber, who's doing the estimate, the design estimate, and they needed some information from me today on where would be the best place for them to draw water, so I forwarded that over to Sam, and we'll have that answer tomorrow morning, and we should have that hopefully ready to go by the first meeting in October to have some decisions. So the promise I had from Mike was quite a while ago, a different Mike, but he's run into some trouble at his end of things on his estimators and whatnot, but he's ready to go, and now he just has to figure out how far he's gonna have to go to get water. And after that, he should be able to get us numbers.
Okay. And we're good with the state?
Yeah, we got that authorization from the state.
Good deal. All right, anything else, Brian?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Any questions for me? Anybody? Okay.
Okay, let's go to the department heads. We'll start with Mary.
The financials were in your packet, so if you have any questions, we're 2/3 through the year. Year to date is $133,561 on the general fund. Just remember though, most of our property tax revenues have been collected.
You mean to the good, huh?
To the, yes, yeah, to the good. And so if you have any questions, please feel free. Our revenues are still running a little bit, and our expenses are also running below the budgets.
Sales tax running good?
I saw that and I should have brought, it slowed down a little bit in the last, it's just barely over last year's. I think it's, so, yeah. So the summer did not kind of just take a huge jump.
But it stayed consistent.
It stayed consistent with last year.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Wait. You don't, what? You don't have nothing? Sam? You're good?
I'd just like to thank Mike, the PD, and Brandon, and Kate's 2 News for their help and support on your day.
Brandon?
I have nothing.
Nothing? Nothing. Huh? Dina? Well, yeah, we'll see if Dina's got anything she wants to report on. No? Mike?
Ditto with Sam. Everything went really well.
Pioneers. It's not the fourth
Work
yet.
well with the staff that's here. Everybody works well together. Just so everybody knows, in case you see it on the news, we had a protest down today at the prison from a group from Denver, about 35 people, trying to get the government to release a Colombian national who's in custody down here. They feel he's being held under political reasons and the terrorist acts that he was found guilty of. He was convicted for 60 years, so you may see that, but everything went well, no problems. We were down there with the sheriff's office and the state patrol system.
And everything was settled? You got everything settled?
And real nice reporters from Colombia who flew up from Colombia to report on it.
Really? Okay. City.